Hi everybody, welcome back. It's nice to have you here again. Today we're going to talk about anxiety and your marriage. So let's get to it. Unfortunately, I am not a stranger to anxiety. My first memory of it was when I was 8 years old and we were living in China. One morning I looked in the mirror and saw some black marks on my teeth and freaked out, thinking that because I had developed cavities, we were going to have to go back home to Canada and it was going to cost my parents a ton of money. And because I didn't tell them and I just stressed out about it, I lost a big chunk of my hair. Fast forward to my preteen years and I started getting heart palpitations, which are no fun if you've ever had them. So my parents took me to the doctor, they hooked me up to monitors, they didn't find anything, and so they just kind of sent me on my way. So it wasn't until I got married and I was with somebody all the time who could kind of see my behavior and help me realize that I might be experiencing something a little bit out of the ordinary for most people. So I did a little investigation and realized that there was a word for it. It was called anxiety. So what about having anxiety and being married or in a relationship? How do you deal with it? On one hand, being married can help you tremendously. You have a buddy who cares about your well-being and can remind you to do those things you need to do in order to decrease your levels of discomfort. But in order for your spouse to do that, you need to figure out first what those self-care things are. For example, after many years of work in this area, I have discovered that there are things that I need to do in order to relax myself. I need sleep. I need proper nutrition, which for me, that means no refined sugars or caffeine. I need exercise. I need to take care of those nagging tasks that I don't want to do, but I have to do. I love a walk in nature. I have a few coaches and I have a great naturopathic doctor who I speak to, and that helps me tremendously. And lastly, if I'm having any sort of health concerns like an irrational cancer scare, then it's important for me to get that dealt with and go talk to my physician. So once you discover what your anxiety decreasers are, you can share them with your spouse so that when they see you spinning out of control, they can gently and lovingly remind you to go take a walk or stop drinking coffee. Okay, the other part of anxiety that's really tricky when it comes to being in a relationship is that it's invisible. You're not hobbling around on a broken leg or curled up in a ball with a nasty stomach ache. It's totally internal. So even though you might be going through chaos and storminess in your head, your spouse might have no clue that you're experiencing it. So when you're irritable, cranky, you can't make decisions, you can't focus on something, they might react to those actions, not the fact that you're just struggling to keep it together and not explode into some sort of panicky mess. So even though I know it's really hard to admit you're feeling anxious, especially if it happens all the time and you're just tired of being that spouse, it's really important to remind them what your internal experience is. That way they can respond as much as they can with compassion, understanding, and love instead of anger and frustration. Now, another observation I've made about marriage and anxiety is that sometimes when my husband is around me, I feel more anxious. Not the fact that he creates the anxiety, but just his presence reminds me that I can kind of lose it in that feeling of feeling comfortable and safe. Yes, my husband can be a source of comfort and strength when I need him to be, but in terms of self-care and doing the things I need to do in order to decrease my anxiety, it's up to me. I have to take charge of my mental health, even when that means saying no to my husband when I know he wants to do something, but I don't think I can handle it. Sometimes when you are implementing your self-care strategies, it can feel a lot like you're distancing yourself from your spouse. For example, like reading, kind of a solo activity, going for a walk alone, listening to music, meditating, doing yoga. So it's possible that your spouse might resist you doing these activities. But although your partner might feel like this, it's really important to just stay on track. And eventually they will come to realize that when you take care of yourself and your mental health, you are a much better spouse in the long run. So there you have it, a few of my thoughts on having anxiety and being married. I really hope that this has been helpful for you. This is something that I am learning about all the time and trying to improve as I go along. Although I wish I could just cure this anxiety condition, I know that it has helped me become a better wife, friend, daughter, mother. So for that, I'm grateful. Please like, subscribe, comment. I would love to know what you guys think about this. And why don't you share some coping strategies that you have to decrease your levels of anxiety. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in a week. Bye.